There he is. Holy hell. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. Hey, Scott Knight. Good to see you, CK. Faces the Moon. V. Mind Games 60. Good to see you. Tommy Scoville, are you there? Quiet Girl says smash that like button. It's fairly good advice, people. I'm going to be a YouTuber today. Hey, if you've never hit that subscribe button, then you really ought to smack it. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm, and it helps the lifeboat grow. And the more that the lifeboat grows, the more people that we reach with the message that you do not have to suffer in silence. If you saw the thumbnail today, I am talking about things that are bad for the dome. There he is. Hold on a second. 1 second, people. Every once in a while, every once in a while. Hey, you guys, if you're a content creator, you probably have noticed that they have completely redone the YouTube app. Oh yeah. Now instead of the little thing being on the top, it's on the bottom, and it's just awful. It's awful. I beg your pardon? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, just had to give you something. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about things that mess up your dome piece. And these are habits that over long periods of time are going to do you dirty. These are things that are going to cause you to absolutely not live your best life, which is that's why we're here, right? In theory, that's why every single one of us ought to be here. The concept being we want to live our best lives. So here in no particular order. I'm kidding. These are very much in a particular order. But we're going to start with 12. Suffering in silence.
Where's your microphone?
I'm not checking my microphone. I hate to tell you, but it's just not going to happen. I'm not even anywhere near the microphone, and it's the same one that I use. So I'm sorry, but there's not much I can do about it, my friends. If it sounds like I'm too close to the mic, I apologize. A study of more than 19,000 men and women revealed that chronic pain is associated with the loss of hippocampal volume and an increased risk for dementia. Researchers found that people who have chronic pain in 5 or more areas had neurological changes equivalent to 8 years of excessive brain aging compared to participants with no pain. The advice to put up with pain as you get older is another horrible myth, notes Teitelbaum. Some physicians believe that all pain is tolerable as long as it's somebody else's. And that's really something that a lot of people on the lifeboat deal with on a regular basis. A grip of you ended up addicted to drugs because you started off in pain management in one way or another. That is very much a reality. And so it's one of those things that you really got to keep an eye on. If you're in pain, do not suffer in silence, right? And if you're feeling some kind of way in your head, if it's one thing to get sad, that happens. It happens to everybody. But if you're on a run where you're a month and a half of feeling sad and you can't get out of bed, I got news for you. That's not a cycle, and it's not sad, right? That's clinical depression, and you need professional help for that. Talking to people who want to support you is great. But when you get to that level, you're going to need to talk to somebody who's a professional. And I promise you, it's going to make your life better. That is the idea. I promise. So 11, eating highly processed foods. This is something that Johnny and I were talking about the other day that kind of freaks me out. This is a rabbit hole that if you start going down, it really is absolutely terrifying. A recent analysis of more than 60,000 seniors found that those who followed a Mediterranean diet were 25% less likely to develop dementia. The protective effect was apparent even among those with genes that put them at a higher risk for the disease, according to a report published earlier this year in the medical journal BMC Medicine. The Mediterranean diet focuses on plant-based foods, whole grains, fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids such as salmon, sardines, olive oil with little or no meat or sweets. Well, that just sounds like it sucks. I know, honestly, I don't think I could do that. I mean, meats and sweets. Why don't you just take away everything fun, right? So that's steak, right? So no steak, no hamburgers, no chocolate. They should call that the hell diet. I'm sorry. Sorry, been feeling a little saucy. Honestly, people. Number 10. Hope everyone's having a good time. Lack of purpose. This is huge. A lack of purpose or meaning in life can result in a deactivation in areas of the brain associated with motivation, goal setting, and reward processing. The brain thrives on meaningful and fulfilling experiences, which provide a sense of reward and well-being. Without these positive experiences, people may be more susceptible to feelings of emptiness, low mood, and a decreased mental health. The people that did this study, again, every time we start talking about studies or anything else, it always goes straight down the same kind of a list, right? We get the same things that almost get recycled again and again and again. And it's rather logical that it does if you think about it. Well, goodness gracious. Every once in a while, people. So, when you work with notes, it's hard to pay attention to everything going on. But if I'm not mistaken, Brandon is a scant 4 days away from 100. That's heavy duty, people. 3 digits, my brother. 4 days to 3 digits. Bizzle, you better understand what I'm talking about. Oh, this is probably perfect timing to announce that Bizzle's going to be on here. I don't know if I told you that, but Biz is going to be coming on to the lifeboat. Great story. Really look forward to talking about it on here. I think you guys are going to dig it. I really do. It's one of those. It's a story that needs to be told. Number 9, not challenging your brain. As we age, we may gravitate to easier forms of entertainment in our spare time, such as streaming our favorite shows or surfing the internet. But Maroon, this is one of the doctors, who is the neurologist consultant for the NFL's Pittsburgh Steelers and an expert in neuroscience, says specific brain training techniques, which include working with puzzles, memory games, video games that require problem solving, and activities that enhance cognition, all contribute to enhancing brain health and neuroplasticity. I'll be honest with you. The idea that your brain shuts down as you get older is one of the most terrifying things in the world to me. Watching people who struggle with communication and struggle with all these things. Man, I'm trying to challenge my brain. I'm not trying to do anything that's going to hasten this inevitable march. And I think probably everybody feels that way, right? Nobody wants to be cashing in their brain chips too early in the whole process. But if you listen to all of these, right? Suffering in silence, eating highly processed foods, lack of purpose, not challenging your brain. These are all things that, you double back, you write this stuff down, and you start working this stuff into your daily routines, right? Start looking through this and saying, am I challenging my dome, right? On a regular basis, is there something that I'm doing that is causing me to maybe do something that I haven't done before? I think one of the points that they make here is that as we get older, we sort of settle into routines that are really comfortable, right? And if I get together with my brother and we say we're going to watch a film, now granted, I can't really watch the newest stuff anyway, but you fall into a routine where you watch kind of the same films and it's comfortable. But I think that when we stop challenging ourselves and we stop doing new things, nothing good comes of that. There is nothing good that comes of that. Staying active and challenging yourself, challenging your brain is huge. And please, I encourage you to do it, right? The fact that you're hearing that you're communicating is a damn good start because most of the world has given up on that, right? Oh, Anik, I apologize. It does happen from time to time where the cat in the front of the room feels like he's talking directly to you. And if that's the case, then chances are the people that wrote this originally did something right. Because this is, I honestly, I felt the same way. This is a good Family Guy reference. Oh, damn it. Damn it. There we go. So let's see if we can do it this time. Steve Molesky. Steve, good to see you, man. Glad that you're here. Hang in there, my friend. Hang in there, my friend. You know what? It is good to see you. It really is. Thoughts and prayers with you, man. But I am glad that you're here. All right. Number 8. Simple to do where I live. This one's just downright easy. Staying out of the sun. This horrible myth has triggered an epidemic of vitamin D deficiency. Recent studies have shown that phototherapy, or simply increasing light exposure, markedly improved cognitive testing. Your skin makes vitamin D when exposed to the sun, so try to spend some time outside every day. A prospective cohort study of 12,388 participants from the National Alzheimer's Coordination Center database found that those who took vitamin D supplements were 40% less likely to develop dementia than those who did not take the supplements. The effects of vitamin D were significantly greater in females versus males. I'll tell you something. I know that there is a placebo effect to a lot of different things that we take. I absolutely am hip to the concept of placebo effect. It's real. I know it's happened to me, but when I got when they started to first talk about the dead spot on my dome, incarcerated, there's not much they can give you anyway. There really isn't. There's not a whole lot that they can do, but they weren't doing it anyway. But the one thing that they did do, I got to a Dr. Fernandez, who was actually a really good guy, but I was taking 4,000 milligrams of vitamin D a day. 4,000. That's what they wrote the prescription for. And I didn't realize until I got out and I looked it up what an unbelievable amount of vitamin D that is. But it is supposed to actually do some stuff for the dome that slows down the rate of decline. And I don't know, but I remember feeling a hell of a lot better when I was taking that much. You know, when I went from the prison that I was at, that was in California. I had to go to 2 other prisons before I left. And the next one, I got the same amount. But when I got to the last one, the doctor was like, what in hell are we doing here? And he cut it down to I think 500 milligrams a day, which is still a big dose of vitamin D, but it was definitely different. And from somebody that has been in a lockdown unit where you don't get outside, right? We did in Victorville, we did a lockdown that was pretty close to 6 months, with maybe a couple of days out, because we would get out and people would stab each other and then you get locked back down or whatever. But it went on for damn near half a year. And you're not getting out for any reason. Like everybody in there was just pasty, ghost white. But when you first get outside and you start getting into the sun, it really changes how everybody is treating one another. It's interesting. It really is. But I know that we're all afraid of getting skin cancer, which is completely legit. But it's probably not a great idea to get outside and get a little bit of sun now and then. Right, man? Put down the computer screen, the cell phone, the blue light emitting device that you're looking at currently as we're talking. Don't put it down now, but maybe a little bit later. Set that puppy down. I'm sorry. Number 7, giving in to stress. Chronic or prolonged stress can lead to the overproduction of stress hormones, such as cortisol, which disrupt the balance of neurotransmitters in the brain and impair communication between neurons in the cerebellum. In the cerebrum. Stress contributes to brain inflammation and has been linked to shrinkage in the hippocampus. Cue Jeremy.
Yep.
In the hippocampus. Come on, Jeremy. Adopting the mindset of not stressing over things you can't change has been a game changer for me, says Friedman. It's a simple cat. Move your foot. Oh, see, I had to move the stunt squirrel. The real one is in the. It's a simple yet powerful principle that has successfully eliminated 85% of stress from my life. If you can, if you can reduce the stress in my life by 5%, you can, you can come on back to my place. I would be very happy to have you there. That's a dream come true. An 85% reduction in stress would really, really be lovely, right? And there's nobody on this planet that doesn't need to reduce their stress. Nobody. Some of us, a little bit more than others. Squirrel shoves her backside in my face on a very regular basis. It's just something that she does. Here's your stuffed toy. She is not a fan of the stuffed squirrel. I'm not going to lie to you. She usually only attacks it in the morning, but she's good to come up here and and thump the thing up, which is really kind of funny. Let's get to number 6, shall we? Drinking alcohol. You don't say. Alcohol's neurotoxic effects can harm the brain. That's right. It can it can directly damage cells of the cerebrum and disrupt communication between the neurons, leading to neurodegeneration. Alcohol impairs cognitive function, particularly decision-making and impulse control. No. A study conducted last year by the University of Pennsylvania revealed that even light to moderate drinking can shrink the brain. As little as a half a beer daily was enough to trigger a decrease in brain volume. The impacts became more pronounced with higher levels of alcohol consumption, says Friedman. Here's the good news on this, because this freaked me the hell out. They're talking about a half a beer. That's 6 ounces of, of beer a day. We're not talking about, that is really, really minimal alcohol. And for the longest time, we had part of the medical community saying, a drink a day is not such a bad thing. And now you've got, in some cases, they're saying, if it's red wine, it's good for you. It's not. Right. And all doctors are, but I looked this up and it absolutely shrinks the hell out of your brain. It does. All of the things that I just read, the terrifying stuff is all true. However, a lot of it will bounce back. Right. If you're hearing my voice and you're suffering with alcohol abuse disorder or alcohol use disorder, whatever they're called, AUD, you can absolutely stop the process, right, of brain damage from alcohol in its tracks immediately by stopping. And put it down. Stop the damage now. And if you stop, then you're going to have the opportunity to start getting an awful lot of that back. And Jeremy was in the pool. No wonder he didn't put anything up there. There was shrinkage, but Biz doesn't have a brain to shrink. You know what, Biz? I can't argue with you on that. No, I'm kidding. I love Biz, but. Can't wait to have him on, people. You're going to love this. This is going to be a great interview. It really is. I'm very much looking forward to that. Have I mentioned that? Johnny?
Yep.
I did. Just checking. Number 5. Avoiding eggs. Several studies have demonstrated that eating eggs may boost brain health without affecting cholesterol levels, says Teitelbaum. Even the American Heart Association notes that moderate egg intake does the heart no harm at all. Research has shown that people who ate diets rich in, there's no chance I'm getting this word. There are 730 letters in this word, the first 9 of which are consonants. Give that one there a try. Okay,
Yeah, no.
But if you happen to have this, which is really heavy in eggs, apparently, this is something that you find a lot of in eggs. Yeah. This thing that starts with a P is found in eggs and in other foods. If you have this, you're 28% less likely to develop dementia. This is something that going back, about 15 years or more, there was a guy that gained some notoriety here in the U.S. with a series called Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And a long time ago, going back to the end of last century, he was telling people, you can't eat enough eggs. Don't listen to anything they're saying. You cannot eat enough eggs.
Well,
and
they do that with coffee every 6 months.
They do it with everything. You know what I mean? Your best bet is to go with instead of reading the Book of the Month Club, talk to some people that have been around a while. The
second son says the damage he thinks he's got is irreversible. Let me tell you something. At the hospital, they said that my lungs and my liver were great. Let that sink in.
Yeah, that one actually blew me away. Especially the lung thing. I figured that there would be some some residual there, but you do seem to be in pretty good shape. The doctors were made a point of telling you that. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, you may have 7th. I'm not. I won't argue the point, because there's definitely. I know I've done stuff to myself that's irreversible. A ton of it. I've done damage, and I'm paying for it. And I think we all are. But you can, however, jerk the e-brake right now by making sure that it never happens again. And the first thing that you got to do in anything is stop the hemorrhaging, right? Am I wrong? The first thing you got to do is stop the hemorrhaging. Once you get the once you get the bleeding stopped, then we can start talking about exactly what's going on and working on that. And I know you're in there, seventh. You know what I mean? It's a tough road, right? This recovery thing is a really, really rough road. But if you start to take a little time, right? Put a little time aside for yourself that is going to be dedicated to making you healthier, happier, right? Dedicate a little time. Think of how much time we spend going like this and scrolling through and looking at cat videos or looking at whatever flips your switch, right? I spend a ton of time online, and there's a lot of stuff that I got to do, right? And it seems like that list of stuff that I got to do gets longer and longer, but there's a ton of stuff that that I got to do that I do online. But deep dive into some healthy stuff. Take a little bit of time and look at some stuff that is going to benefit you as a human being, right? In mind, body, and spirit. Take a little time. Today got hectic, and there are two different kinds of workouts that I've been doing, and I've only gotten one of them in today, which means I'm going to have to work out before bedtime. On the bright side, that's going to wear me out. On the other side, I hate working out before bed. You always go in there, just kind of hurt. Seventh is not in martial arts, but used to break bricks with his head up until just recently. Yeah. Jerk the e-brake. You've never heard that one before? Yeah. Yank the e-brake. Throw out the drogue chute. Whatever you got to do to stop the bleeding. And it's one of those things, honestly. I spent a lot of time on my journey using the fact that I had not quit yet as the reason to continue. I realized that sounds stupid as hell, but I would sit there and go, what am I, a 45-year-old junkie? I mean, what's the point? What am I going to at 40? What am I going to do? Right? I'm going to start a company and take over the world. And I didn't have a whole lot of faith in the future at all. So I'm in my 40s, just going, you know what? This is my reality, and it gets you chasing your tail in this sort of. I shoot dope so that I can forget the fact that I shoot dope. You know, it was a thing that would go around in circles. Yankee Kyle. Not sure if you've heard. 35 years. Well played, my man.
Should be proud of that.
You know how to pop the clutch to get a rolling start. You know something? If that wasn't funny, but it really is. You know, sadly, as long as we're keeping with the metaphors, that's kind of funny. I did that. I definitely jump started my habit for decades. But you know something? I was walking around. I don't remember the song I was singing, but I was changing the lyrics up to have something to do with waking up and being really happy about not being strung out on dope. And I came around the corner and ran into my brother, who just sort of gave me the nod, like, yep, I get that. He didn't even pick on me for, singing ridiculous. Anyway. Guacaholic, that's the spirit. Stay the course, my friend. There you go. Jeremy Shelton with a good Saturday Night Live 1980s reference. That was 80s, right? Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Dana Carvey and
Kevin.
Thank you, the sheriff. Everybody jumped off that much like Captain Brings. That's absolutely a great scene. Absolutely a fantastic scene. There's not a bad scene in that film. Seriously, National Lampoon's Vacation, the first one, that is absolute, just incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, here we go. Number 4. Ants. You heard me. Negative thinking. Researchers from Yale School of Public Health found older adults with mild cognitive impairment, MCI, who had an optimistic outlook about growing older were 30% more likely to regain normal cognition than their counterparts with a more pessimistic view of aging. Holy hell. The power of positive thought. Right there, literally, the power of positive thought. 30% more likely. Thank you, Noise Opera. I appreciate you, my brother. Glad that you're here, Nick. Yeah, ants. They come marching in, sadly. And they don't come marching in 2 by 2. It's like 6,000 or 7,000. And then to the left of them, maybe 7,500. 78. A lot of them. They're everywhere. Everywhere. If you let automatic negative thoughts run wild on your dome, we've talked about this probably as much as we've talked about anything on the lifeboat, right? Our job in life for the rest of the time that we're here is to make sure that those little automatic negative thought voices in your head don't win. That's it. The rest is all window dressing, right? It's all stuff that we talk about, and it's good. It's good to talk about. It's good to come together and everybody sort of weigh in on what works. And it really is a beautiful thing. And it creates a community of people that care for one another. And when you know that people care for you, it can change the mindset, right? Dramatically. Again, what is it? All that. It's kind of positive thought, isn't it? Okay. I can do it, says Monk. Yeah, I got a funny story. I was I was sleeping and I had an alarm set to go off. And the alarm went off. And so you hear all the time I go on here and I talk about I read the deeming. Can you unblock me? Deeming, I wrote that down this morning and I didn't do anything about it. And this is completely on me. And now I feel horrible. Deeming, I will get on that. I will get on that. Did you hear that? So I'll get on that. And I will fix it, I promise you. But I need to get on that. So I gotta get on that. Johnny, make sure I get on that.
You're right.
Can you do that for me?
I got it.
Thank you. I'm gonna get on that. Hear that? I'm deeming that to be it's a sinner. Number 3, not taking a multivitamin. A recent study co-authored by Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health researchers found that older adults who took a multivitamin for 1 year experienced improvements in memory equivalent to delaying aging by 3 years compared to those who took a placebo. This benefit was maintained throughout the 3 years of the study. How about that? It's likely that multivitamins higher in B vitamins and folic acid would have even greater benefits. This is, hey, Brian Bremer, 22. Good to see it. It's these are the kind of things, each one of these that we're talking about is 30% here, 25% there, 85% here. This is absolutely massive. It really is. This is massive. Huge, right? Take a freaking multivitamin and be a little bit more positive to the people around you, and you could stave off dementia or Alzheimer's by 3 to 5 years. Well, I'll tell you what, the idea of not knowing the people around me, I'm just going to start being really nice to everybody. Hey, how are you? Right? I'm going to be that guy. How about have a smile on your face, be positive, maybe a little servitude to others. All of these things that make your brain chemistry happier, right? All of these things that make your brain chemistry much happier. By the way, people, you've never heard anybody say this. If you got a question for me, put the word question in front of what you write in the chat. I'm far more likely to answer it. It's kind of keeps things tracking, so to speak. I thought jerk the e-brake meant stopping with all electronics and phone dependency. Jerking the e-brake just means stopping, right? Putting a dead stop to all things. At least that's what it's always meant to me. But I have been saying that for, I don't know. What do you figure? 40? Somewhere in there, 40 years? A long time. A long, long time. My video is on delay. I can attest that stopping drinking helps brain function within a couple of weeks. You know what? And it's huge. That is a really, really big deal. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. Look at this. Cody Lee says, Johnny's community is just as welcoming and genuine for those who don't know Tommy's brother, though I am sure most of you do. I have no brother. I have no idea what Cody Lee's talking about. I did. And then this whole egg thing. Have you told these people your idea?
No.
Oh, so that egg that I ate, if you've never seen it, I did it on Chase the Heat. I didn't do it over here on the lifeboat. And then a bunch of you really complained about the fact that I didn't do it over here on the lifeboat. So I don't know, maybe the next one, maybe I'll live stream it or whatever. But it's a century egg which really isn't a century old. It's just buried in crap and ash and clay.
It tastes like it is.
Oh, it does taste like it is. It is absolutely disgusting and foul in a way that will get your attention. But I already ate one, and it caused the normal dry reaching and vomiting that you all enjoy so much. As it turns out, they only sell them in 4-packs, and my brother wants to do another one, and I can't tell you how excited I am about it. I was saying to him the other day, you know what I'd really like to do is eat another one of those eggs. So this time we hard boiled that rascal. And he wants to make egg salad out of this, So I don't really want any part of that. But yeah, it's egg salad. It's Century Egg Salad Sammy's. That is, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit in the back of it. Well, I didn't, but I will tomorrow, I'm sure. This morning I got away with the egg not feeling real good thing because I really wasn't. Yeah. Betty, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry?
Betty has a rough comment. Lost her stepson Ryan in September.
I'm so sorry, Betty.
Said the devil won.
It's every day. It is every single day. There are just so many people that that we're losing to this war on drugs, this war on drug addicts. It's not a war on drugs, but it's definitely a war on drug addicts and on users and on people who just got high. And I'm terribly sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry for your loss. And my thoughts and prayers are with you that we don't get over things like those ever. We learn to live with them, and hopefully we learn to live with them quickly. Henny, it's not, like I said, it's not technically 100-year-old. It just tastes like it is 100-year-old egg salad. Yeah, that really kind of puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Sounds just fantastic that way. You know what? I must have somebody at the door because I just watched my cat's pupils. Hey, there goes the cat. So the you happen to catch the leap? That's probably going to be the mailman or the guy from Amazon. Those are the only people that dare to try to get up my driveway because of how steep it is. That and the occasional bandit or whatever they were. Yeah, you know what? Holy heck. It's really, really odd because I'm so far behind on where the chat is to what's going on. I should probably just stop looking at it. It is honestly like a week behind. I don't know what the deal is with the stream today, but we are up to number 2. Sedentary lifestyle. Joseph Maroon, MD, a neurosurgeon and clinical professor of neurological studies at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. That would be out by where Quiet Girl is. Says the use it or lose it adage applies not only to our bodies, but also to our brains. Exercise is essential to keep both in peak performance, he says. Chemicals are emitted by exercising the muscles that result in the release of a very important growth factors in the brain. Exercise is the fertilizer for the formation of new brain cells, new synaptic connections, and neuroplasticity. If we just start sitting around, right? If we just start doing nothing, we start to die. We really do. It's not even a cliche, but we're either living or we're dying. You're either moving forward or you are moving backwards. There's nothing in between. There just isn't. It's not how it works. So in everything, Mark Wages and I used to talk about this all the time on the show, and we would have, no, I wouldn't say debates, but on the subject of, is there a neutral? Right? Is there a time in your walk with sobriety where you're just sort of coasting? Because you hear people say that, I'm not really, working on anything. I'm just kind of coasting. I don't believe that that's happening. I don't believe it's possible that you can coast. I think that you're either always moving forward, and if you're not, then you're going back toward the things that certainly for me. I've watched this for a lot of people, but I can speak for myself with exact certainty, and it is essential that that I personally am always moving forward. If I'm not, I am moving backwards, and that is just all I have to say about that. We're not going to get into a long. I did not put that up there because I want to talk about politics. I put that up there because I don't want to talk about politics, but I know exactly what V is saying. We live in a world right now that's scary as hell. It is. If you're paying any attention at all, we are in a very scary time right now on planet Earth. There is a lot going on. And this is flashbacks. I know why V is feeling this. Because we are of that generation that grew up with, the doomsday predictions every single day in school, right? Every single first period study hall, they would have the doomsday clock and they would tell us how close we were to midnight. And it scared the crap out of me. It did. It is absolutely 100% one of the reasons that I did dope the way I did growing up. I'm not kidding you. It was something that as a young kid, the threat of nuclear war scared the hell out of me. And it was in your face. They just did not let you forget about it. And sadly, it was a very political thing. There were teachers that really wanted to sort of score political points, but I don't know. I was one of those guys. Yeah, 2 minutes to midnight, says Ben Turner. The doomsday clock. And they would tell us, I'm winding a watch. They would tell us every single morning where we were on the doomsday clock. And I got really disturbed. I've told the story on the boat before. My senior paper, we had to write a paper for our senior project. And the paper was they've just launched. Russia has just sent, thousands of intercontinental ballistic missiles flying at all major U.S. cities. We have fired back. This is the end. You got 15 minutes. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? I'm 17 years old. I just want to go and, hang out with girls and act foolish and have fun. Right now we're at 90 seconds to midnight. Lovely. Isn't that the flashbacks? I'm not even kidding you. This is mad flashbacks. And you know what I've done? Do you know what I have done, V, to cope with this? I turned it off. I did. And this is not my style. It really isn't. It's not my style. I am usually really engaged and really engaged. I really want to talk about it, and I want to be weighing in on it and all of that. And I am just not doing it anymore. Duck and cover, Jeremy Shelton, right? That's not so funny. It is and it isn't. But the world we're living in is frightening. Piper Lynn says, Tommy Bird lost 14 in our tiny town in 2 years. Fent, all in their 30s, 3 in the last month. Piper, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Done a lot of shows on this. The dope continues to get stronger, kills more people. As more people die, what do the dope dealers do? They make the dope stronger. Does that make any sense? No, because it's not here to get people high. It's here to kill people. It's the reality. Sadly, it's here to kill our friends. It's here to kill our brothers and sisters. People whose only sin on this planet is the fact that they're addicted to a substance. They've got a disease that causes them the inability to manage the proper use of anything that gets you high. My stream got a little behind somehow, but I agree 100%, Tommy, that you're either progressing, living, or stagnant, dying. Yeah, I'm glad that you agree. And you're not that far behind me, actually. I thought it was a lot worse than that. Yeah, Ben Turner, the border runs right up by here, too. I live in Arizona, so I'm very, very close to the border. But you know something? It doesn't matter if you're in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. It doesn't matter. You could be as far away from that border as you could possibly get. Everything is a border town. Doesn't matter where you are in the United States today. Everywhere is a border town. There are little cells of people selling Fent all over the United States of America. Deeming 9. If I'm seeing Deeming 9, how is Deeming 9 blocked? I'm confused. You know what? Quiet girl, you'll tell me what's going on. Because that doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm not. You're from Bisbee. From Bisbee, rather. Now living in Benson. Oh, all right. All right. Today was one of the first cool days that I've had since buying this house. It was lovely. It really was. I got up this morning and it was chilly outside. It was a trash day. I had to take out the trash, and it was, as I've said before, I have a very, 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 very steep driveway, and normally walking up and down that driveway, and you will be, that's probably a good thing. Oh, Deeming 7 is blocked. How many Deemings are there? Starting to make me a little nervous there. Deeming 9. I'm kidding. I'll look at 7. Thank you. Well, that makes a lot more sense now. I'm even going to write that down. Yeah, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? Sorry, people. You know who'd be really happy? Aaron. He loves it when there's a little dead air. I don't know what it is, but it really makes him happy. The devil lives within the fentanyl epidemic. I pray God keep my family and your family safe and in good hands. God bless. You know what, Cody? I am an absolute believer in the Lord. I am of the firm belief that addiction is it's probably one of the biggest threats to certainly our country and very much the earth. And I encourage everybody to pray for that cause. But I would also encourage everybody to get active, at least in terms of seeing what kind of policies people are putting forward and trying to put people in office that are at least talking about doing something about what's going on. I am a one, and you don't have to be, right? But it's probably a good idea to at least decide what it is. But for me, I am one, and I do mean one issue. That's it. I am a one issue voter. And for me, that issue is our brothers and sisters dying on this drug and nobody doing anything about it. Makes me very, very unhappy. So that's that. And with that, how was that? Pretty good, right? Right? For big fat fingers. Number 1, worst habits for your brain. But before I tell you this number 1, I was talking with a friend right before I went live, and they said, "What are you doing for the boat tonight?" And I said, "The worst habits for my brain." And the person said, "Would you like a list?" And they really weren't being like a wise guy kind of a thing. They actually have got a list of some things that might have helped, but it just sounded like they were talking about me. Like, "Oh, things that you're doing that screwed up. Would you like a list?" Had me laughing for a while. But all right, number 1. Negative self-talk. No, I think we already had that one. That was number 4, Piper Lynn. That was number 4. Snot face, good to see you. It is number 1. Lack of sleep. Yes, 7. Story of my life. I'm too slow. Story of my life, brother. I promise you, in every aspect of it. In every aspect of it. True stories. But lack of sleep, people. This is right in my wheelhouse. Right? I'm not lying when I tell you that this really is a huge problem, right? And for me, the biggest. But it's the biggest for everybody. It's number 1 for a reason. David Freeman, a chiropractic neurologist and best-selling author, tells the study that during sleep, the brain resets itself by forming or maintaining neurological pathways for storing, learning, and creating. You hear that? So at night, what's happening? You're literally shuffling stuff off to filing cabinets, right? If you're working right. Well, it's one of the reasons that you journal and do all that is so you get all of those things set organized and put into one spot so that when you actually go to sleep, the night shift can do its job and do it as easy as possible, right? I swear to you, I'm not just beating the dead horse. It's so important that all of these things that we talk about lead into everything else, right? This stuff is not... it's not rocket science. It really isn't. But all of it kind of leads into the next one. And it's maintaining neurological pathways for storing and learning and creating. Inadequate sleep impairs cognitive function and increases the risk for neurological disorders. The 2 areas of the brain most affected by lack of sleep are the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision making, and the hippocampus, which plays a major role in memory and learning. So the decision-making part of my brain, it probably isn't up to snuff. That's terrifying, isn't it? If you're not getting enough sleep, your decision making, it's not the important part. It's just the part that makes the friggin' decisions, right? What could possibly go wrong if it's just the part of my brain that does all of that decision making? We're good. We can put that part to bed, right? All bad. All bad. 9805. If I had any idea what that reference was to, I would weigh in on it. Charlie, good night. Be safe. I'll sleep when I'm dead is what I used to say to myself on benders. Oh, if you knew how many times I have heard friends of mine whose substance of choice happened to grow in a crystalline form who used to say that all the time. Screw that. I'll sleep when I'm dead. And especially because my drug of choice inevitably puts you to sleep, right? It may not put you to sleep instantly, but you're going to end up sleeping. I was always a huge fan of sleep. Loved it way too much to ever be just a straight, off into the weeds speed kind of person. I dig it. I did. I was a huge fan of doing it, but I used to dig it just for the purpose of keeping me doing the other. You know what I mean? Like I did it so that I could do more tar, and that's really all it was. Yeah. Sweet dreams and hugs. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Yeah, when you're dead, sleep is pretty much out of the question. It really is. Oh, Quaaludes. My goodness. RORA 714, right? Or Lemon 714 or whatever, but the old 714s. Yep. They also sold them for a little while under a different name, and all of our friends from South Africa will end up weighing in on this because they still make this trash in South Africa, which always blows me away. But I get tons of emails. We have a big audience in South Africa. I'm not exactly sure why, other than maybe you people are on drugs. I'm sorry, but that one never gets old. That's why all of you people are here. But Mandrax, the old sheets of Mandrax, they still manufacture those in South Africa, and that is very much a Quaalude by another name. It was right around the same time as it's still another barbiturate. It's a really, really heavy barbiturate, very, very similar to the 714s. I thought the Mandrax might have even been a little stronger. They were pretty vicious drug, but I was astounded to hear that they were still making them. Like it didn't make Mandy's. Oh, Piper Lynn. Oh, I can't believe you just said Mandy's. That is what they were called. The Mandrax were the man days. They would come on a great big sheet of 100. Honestly, and they had, the writing on them was green, and it was like a clear plastic, so you could see the pill on the inside, and it said on the outside Mandrax, Compromitos, and all of those things. And you could, cellophanes, and you could smoke this pill. It's very, very odd, but they're still around in South Africa, which is astounding. But they're still around. Piper Lynn, are you in South Africa, or are you just a? It's rare that I get somebody that talks about them. It's rare that I run across people that know about them. It was a drug that I think it was a regional thing. You kind of had to be in certain parts of the country. The Aerosmith used to talk about it a lot. They were fairly into it. There's a book I read. It might have been the Toxic Twins. I can't remember the name of the book, but they talked about it a lot, an awful lot. Mandrax is absolutely horrible stuff. For everybody that has been praying for all of the people that that's where I used to get mine from too, was from Mexico. Yeah. This is for everyone who's praying for my friends who are having surgery, right? I've had a couple of friends that were getting worked on, and I asked people to pray for them. I really appreciate you. They're both doing really well, Oh, and well, Fiona was on here last night, and Fee's doing good. So she's getting better, but Well, they've been gone for a hot minute. All those, the vast majority of barbiturates of any kind have been gone for a really long time. The Seconal and the Tuinal and the Mandrax. It was like we had a shift in the United States, and it was the beginning. It was the birth of the Sackler family and the Sackler family dynasty. The billions of dollars and the lives lost was the paradigm shift in therapies and in doctors writing prescriptions for barbiturates and going from that to benzodiazepines, right? From barbiturates to benzos was a real thing. It was a shift. And the reason was these were going to be so much safer, right? Benzos were going to be so much safer. You were going to have a lot less overdoses. And you know what? There probably are a lot less overdoses. I mean, barbiturates are tough. The doctors used to write prescriptions for Quaaludes. It was the most prescribed drug in the world at that time. And when they had the hearings in Washington, D.C., and they asked, they brought in these specialists that said, what should a Quaalude be written? What ailment should this drug be written for as a prescription to treat? And the doctors that they brought in said, there's nothing on this earth that this drug should be written for. Right? There's nothing this treats, but they would write it for anything like fibromyalgia, kind of menstrual pain. They wrote it for a lot, any kind of sleep disorder whatsoever. They did it for everything. You were given barbiturates for colic. Wow. Holy hell, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. Lene says Demerol. Yeah, I did a lot of Demerol back in the day. Yeah, I definitely did a lot of Demerol back in the day. Now they make dabs. It's weed in liquid form, and they use a straw to suck it up. Yeah, I've watched a little of that going on. I have seen that when I was out of prison the last time. There was I had a next door neighbor that was making it, and he came by to tell on himself because he knew we were going to smell it. They use a chemical. It's like almost like lighter blue butane, or it's one of those the bastard gas. Oh, King of the Hill! Somebody get that King of the Hill reference. That's just a good one, right? Not propane and propane accessories, but butane, the bastard gas. Why, Lady Crispin? Speak of the, well, I guess devil's probably not the right term. No, that's the other one that we're praying for. I'm kidding, but not. I'm glad that you're feeling better, Lady Crispin. It's good to see you on the boat. Always a pleasure to see you here. Oh, butane or propane, either way. Okay, yeah, either way, it stunk. And the guy came by to kind of tell us what he was doing. That was all news to me. I quit I left that a long time ago. I mean, I've smoked it since, but there was a period of time in my life where I smoked weed every single day. Like that was just my thing until I got deep enough into heroin where like it didn't make sense to be doing either. The world does need more people like Lady Crispin. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And, you're 100% right. It's a great spokesperson for all things life boaty. Did you get that? I said life boaty. Almost. Hold on. All righty, everybody. You know what? This is sad because she made an appearance. We'll see if that worthless animal will come in here and make an appearance before the... I'm kidding, people. I love this cat. And you know what? Anytime I do something like that, I did a clip where I said something about... I said, I love that cat more than anything in the world. She's the best. Of course, this morning, I'd kind of like to hold her head underwater, right? Because she had kept me up all night meowing. And somebody made a short of that for their channel talking about me being a psycho that wants to hurt animals. And it was funny because the very first comment was somebody that said, Oh, wow. I've been watching him for a while, but I'm gone now. I'm a cat lover. I thought, holy hell, where do these people come from? Like that, but it's been a while. So we'll give him a little something to work with. We'll call her a worthless animal. We'll say, I don't know why she's not here and getting into the basket. I would hate to have to. Kidding, but it'll make for a good one. Come on, squirrel. Squirrel, nut zipper. Okay, no cat. They probably are giving her something tasty in the kitchen. There will be no appearance from Squirrel. She will, however, be back tomorrow. Same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. Cat's just a piece of work. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. This is a stunt squirrel. This has been the lifeboat. And that's, that. We'll see you on the next one. God bless. Bye-bye.